Welcome to the Digital Edge.
Hey there, good to be here.
Today we're jumping into something pretty significant happening with online content, specifically a new law called the Take It Down Act.
That's right. It's a U.S. law aimed squarely at, well, AI-generated deepfake pornography and also what's often called revenge porn.
Serious stuff. So what does the act actually make illegal? What's the core of it?
Okay, so the main thing is it criminalizes the act of publishing this kind of material AI deepfakes or revenge porn when the person doing it knows what it is.
It's the publishing part, the sharing by an individual.
Exactly. The initial focus isn't on, say, the big tech companies themselves being liable just for hosting it unknowingly.
Okay, but what is the role of platforms then? Where do they fit in?
Well, they aren't off the hook entirely. The law mandates that if they're notified about this kind of content, they have to remove it within 48 hours.
48 hours, that's quite a specific time frame. Pretty quick.
It is. It sets a clear expectation for response.
Now, something that caught my eye was the political support for this. I heard it was, really bipartisan.
Oh, absolutely. It actually passed the Senate with unanimous consent. And generally, it had very strong backing from both Republicans and Democrats.
Wow, unanimous. You don't see that often, especially, when it involves regulating tech or online content.
Definitely notable. It signals a pretty broad consensus on the need to address this specific harm.
And it wasn't just politicians aligning, was it? I read that major tech players, Microsoft, Google, Meta, they were also in support.
Yeah, that's another interesting layer. You had the big tech companies essentially lining up behind this act.
Why do you think that is? Usually they might push back a bit more on regulation.
Well, the sources don't explicitly spell out their motives, but one could infer a few things. It certainly looks good, right? Being seen as proactive against harmful content.
Taking responsibility or appearing to?
Exactly. And perhaps, supporting a more targeted law like this might be preferable to potentially broader, more burdensome regulations down the road. It kind of defines the problem narrowly.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, behind the legislative push, I understand there was a very powerful personal story involved.
Yes, absolutely. The story of Ellison Berry, a teenager whose image was manipulated into AI-generated pornography and then spread. Her experience was, frankly, harrowing.
Just awful to imagine.
And she, along with her mother, became incredibly effective advocates. They actually testified before Congress, met with White House officials. Their personal testimony really put a human face on the problem and created a sense of urgency.
You can see how that would cut through the usual debate. But like with any new law, are there concerns? Any pushback?
There are. Some privacy advocates, while generally supporting the goal of protecting victims, have raised concerns.
Okay, like what specifically?
The main worry seems to be about potential misuse. Could the law be sort of weaponized or manipulated, maybe by powerful individuals, to suppress speech or target people unfairly? There's a call for careful oversight during implementation.
Right, the potential for unintended consequences. It's a valid point. It's also interesting I saw mention that even the First Lady, Melania, had commented on this issue.
That's correct. It just goes to show how widespread the awareness of this problem has become, reaching, the highest levels.
So wrapping this up a bit, this Take It Down Act, it feels like a concrete step, maybe a first step, in grappling with these newer forms of online harm.
I think that's fair to say. You've got this convergence, bipartisan political agreement, the tech industry sort of getting on board, and crucially, that powerful advocacy driven by personal experience.
It really highlights the pressure to do something.
It does. But as those privacy concerns remind us, the way this law works in practice, its actual impact, that's something we'll need to watch closely.
Absolutely. Which leads to maybe a final thought for you, our listeners, to consider. When we start holding individuals legally accountable for online posts in this specific way, what are the bigger implications? How does this change, or how should it change, how we interact and share online?
It's a complex question, definitely one worth mulling over as the digital landscape keeps evolving so rapidly.
Indeed it is. Thanks for breaking that down with us. And thank you all for tuning in to The Digital Edge.